serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is the man who ate the town.
Hey folks, and welcome to episode 88 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of October 28th through November 4th, 2018. My name is Tim Beeman.
And my name is Ray Morgan.
And we're opening the recipe box. We are recording this episode of the Man Who Ate the Town at the new lab at Industry Hill. It is a repurposed building on North Chestnut Street in the old warehouse district in downtown Winston-Salem, what we now call Industry Hill. Find out more by visiting industryhill.com. So, as you noticed, there was a new voice. It was not Kelly Bone, and it was not Tim Johnson.
It was not.
No, it is another friend of mine who is named Ray Morgan, and
happy to be here.
Good. I'm glad you're here.
Thanks for the invite.
And you, with Kelly, she had worked in restaurants. She had done stuff in restaurants, both food, beverage, and otherwise, and she just knew about restaurants. Tim knew some tequila stuff, and he liked to eat food.
Down with that.
And we all are. That's why we do this. But what you bring to the show is, and Tim, I'm not saying that he didn't have those other things, because he and his wife cooked a lot at, he called Chez Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. But Ray comes at it from a little different perspective. You've dealt with a lot of restaurants in this town because you worked in advertising.
That's right. And
you focused a lot, I won't say exclusively, but a lot on the food scene, not only in Winston, but, the surrounding areas. It was a triad thing. And we're not exclusively Winston, just mostly Winston here.
And most of what I did was here in town.
Yeah. So you have a different perspective than the other hosts did, and even more than me, not more, but a different perspective, because you did something different with restaurants as I did. And that's why I thought whenever I was looking at you last Monday, I'm like, let me walk over here. And if you notice, when I sat down and we talked about it a little bit, I kept waiting for the opportunity to go, so what are you doing Monday? And Ray has been a guest on the Less Desirables, and if you listen over at the Less Desirables, you'll hear Ray's voice and several other commercials that we have started playing over there, and he will continue to do that. I believe we have an appointment Wednesday, do we not?
Do we have one on Wednesday?
I don't know. Do you want one?
Let me check the calendar.
You check the calendar, and if you can't, that's fine. We have 12 more commercials to record.
We'll get them done.
Yeah, and they won't take long because
we're getting used to it.
Yeah, we're getting used to it by now. So, Ray, welcome to the show. Welcome as part of the show. And as the caveat goes with Tim as well, if Kelly decides it's her time to come back, Kelly's going to come back. That doesn't mean Ray's gone. If Tim wants to come show up, this is the same idea as with the Less Desirables. It's like crew, the Man Who Ate the Town. Exactly. You are part of the show, and there's no reason why we can't have 4 hosts on here. I think
it's a party.
I think the back and forth would be awesome with that.
Yeah.
Because you get debate. We could do a whole different thing if we had that.
Especially after the first couple beers.
Absolutely. And there would be some.
There would be some.
Let's get into some news here.
What's happening? What's going on in Winston-Salem?
Last week I mentioned that Graze is going through some changes. They're redoing the facade on the outside.
Right.
And they're also going to be doing some renovations on the inside. And according to my friend Carol Leggett, Chef Richard Miller says that a discreet, carefully redesigned environment for dining that says casual, laid-back fun is coming. Also, he wants a creative, diverse menu at an appropriate price point that uses quality ingredients, something that Chef Richard's always insisted on. I know Chef Richard Miller, and I know that he's a great chef, and when anything he puts his stamp on, he does fantastic with it. He is a fire in the triad and fire in whatever they're calling it, Fire in Winston-Salem competitor. He's been in that cook-off several times. He actually won it 2 years ago. Won the Triad one and went on and competed in the state one.
All right.
So
Didn't know that.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
So they've already got this fantastic ambiance in there. To think that they're going to redo that, I'm real curious to see how that's going to turn out.
I thought that I love the concept of the food. I've always hated that name. I always thought
Graze?
we were cud chewing cows being herded together to come and just graze on the pasture here.
Come on, Ethel, let's get us a bucket and just graze for a while.
I love the concept of it. It was sip, savor, and share. It was meant to go in and be a place where you just order stuff, not tapas necessarily, but in the idea of tapas, where you order a lot of stuff and then everyone sits and have conversation and just eat.
Graze.
Yeah, graze, exactly. But there's got to be a different way to explain that or call it than call it something where it sounds like there's a bunch of cows out there just staring at the trains going by.
The connotation is unfortunate.
It is. And I believe there are, again, better ways to do this, and I hope that they're doing it. It's fine dining atmosphere, casual dining food and idea. They always have great drinks. They have first place I ever had sous vide was at Graze, and that's packaged in a bag and steamed and boiled in the bag to cook meat. And you think, well, boiled meat. No, there's actually really good stuff. And it's fine dining everywhere does that. And I know some places were like, they get their meat from a bag. No. They get
part of the process.
It's part of the process. It's French. It's sous vide. Oui. But Chef Richard says that if he can get the diners in there, they will return again and again. So if anybody can do it, I know he can do it. And truthfully, that area of downtown needs a fine dining spot. I mean, especially in the hotels. There's a couple things in the Embassy Suites, but nobody knows what it is. I don't even know what it is. They have a restaurant.
They do?
Supposedly. They have the food service because they cater downstairs. So Graze is what, I can't even say it with a straight face, is what's at the Marriott. And the Marriott itself is going through some renovations, so why not update this? It has the potential to be a really, really nice restaurant. I didn't mind Prime WS.
Right.
But it also was just run down and old looking in there. It looked like it was, even though it wasn't, because I remember when they became Prime WS, it still looked like it was around from like the early 80s. And who wants to see that in a restaurant now?
Nobody. And that's going to be their challenge, I think, going forward, is they're going to get a certain amount of business from folks who are just staying at the hotel.
Sure.
But to get the locals to say, oh, let's hit the restaurant up in the hotel, they're going to have to do a better job of getting the word out about what they're doing.
Really the one place I can think of right now that has no problem with that is the Catherine.
Right.
Because people go there that aren't staying there.
Yes. And they've done a good job of billing themselves as the destination.
True. I mean, to me, especially now that they've revamped the, new chef who's been there for about a year now. When I first went there, when they first opened, it was like, I've never been to New York City, so I can't say this is what in my head it would seem like being in New York City, because truly that building is the centerpiece of our metropolis here.
Yeah, that's a fair statement.
And you're sitting in this restaurant in this French style, looking out at the walls and everything that's around it. It looks like you're sitting in New York.
Right.
And that goes over well because people want to feel like they actually have something, or at least I think they do, that they actually have something here that's elite worthy, even if it's not necessarily elite. They pull that off and yes, it is pricey, but it's not the most pricey thing in town, and it's not the most fancy food in town. It's fancy enough without going stupid.
And again, the building itself is part of that appeal.
Oh, yeah.
And they did such a good job on the renovation by leaving those original Art Deco motif pieces, the floors, the walls, leave all of that.
The actual gold on the ceiling.
Yeah. I hear the black keys in the background.
Yeah. Yes. So good luck to Graze, whatever they may be, because they said they're changing the name. Let's hope it's something that's not as silly as Graze.
Something inviting.
Yes, something that makes you want to go there, not put on your overalls and go, milk some cows. Moo. It does the body good. Carmine's 901 Grill is temporarily closing down.
What? Tell me it's not true.
They say it's for revamping the menu. I could be ignorant, but I don't know why they need to actually close down to revamp the menu. I know restaurants around town that institute new menus and don't need to shut down all the time.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, it could be that they want to add a little bit of personality in there, because there's not a lot.
Right.
It's never been aesthetically pleasing, especially back when it was Bob's Big Gas Subs and Pub. But the truth is, it was a service station at one time, and they wanted to keep that motif, but not an Italian bistro type place. You don't want that.
No, they really do need to step that game up.
Yeah. But it's cold in there, really. I mean, the atmosphere is not inviting and warm.
Right.
Not saying I want hot, but I want it to be like I'm not in a former gas station. I mean, I can't change what it used to be. History is history, but at the same time,
you can change what it looks like now.
Now, I will say that I have never eaten there as Carmine's. I did eat there. Actually, they used to be a Bob's Big Gas Subs and Pub was a sponsor of the Less Desirables at one time. Early sponsors. But I didn't really like going there then. It just was not pleasing to me. But they paid me, so I went. Now, I'm also playing devil's advocate. Perhaps they just need to replace some of the equipment that they're going to put in there for this new menu.
That could very well be.
Yeah, and this is the same people that owns Carmine's on Jonestown Road. And this was a bistro type place that was a limited menu, a bistro type menu. Everything cost $9.01 because of the 901.
Ronaldo Road.
But they also said, Carmine said that it's no longer feasible because food costs has risen and his price is still $9.01. So that needs to change. Also, people who are familiar with Carmine's on Jonestown come into this location wanting stuff that's only over there.
Yeah.
So that
they're disappointed.
And that creates friction between.
Even though they haven't really tried the new restaurant, the new concept, something different than what they were doing on Jonestown. Right.
So I hope that this switch of the menu, switch of the concept, hopefully the switch of the decor,
please,
does them well. Speaking of Italian restaurants, the Lisio's is closed today, tomorrow, and Wednesday.
Oh, now that's a sad piece of news.
They'll open back up on Thursday, the 1st, where they will have a brand new... Maybe I can't say that, because I know what's going on, but Tony hasn't given me the clearance to tell everybody else.
They're going to have a brand new...
something.
Oh, you're going to leave us hanging with that.
I am. There will be some changes, like I said, that I'm aware of, but I have not been cleared to tell what it is. But let's just say that there will be a noticeable difference to the dining room, and there will be more beer and wine.
Now
that's a hint.
So that sounds good.
Yes.
Sounds like all positive.
So we're going to leave it at that, and just know that you can have Lisio starting Thursday, and it will be... again, a surprise in the dining room that has to do with beer and wine.
Okay.
And I'm going to leave that right there.
We'll just keep staring at it for the next 3 days.
Yes. And we'll talk a little more about Delicios here in a second. This Saturday, November 3rd, I want to remind everyone, I mentioned this last week, but the Ardmore Neighborhood is doing their chili cook-off.
That's right.
From 4 to 7. It's $1 bowls with free samples. You can try anything, but to get a bowl of it, you have to pay $1. Where else are you going to get a bowl of chili for $1? There are gift card prizes, no entry fee. Contestants are asked to make 2 gallons of chili, supply their own crock pot, their own ladle, their own extension cord. They are still looking for cooks. As of now, Michael Hastings of the Winston-Salem Journal, Mary Hagland, and the man who ate the town are the judges. Last week I said Nikki Miller-Carr. We're all food people.
They're right.
Last week I said Nikki Miller-Carr, but she had to back out because she had a work conflict. So if you're interested, we are still looking for folks. Contact Kathy Pierre. It's Pearre. For more details, you can call or email her pierre.kathy@gmail.com. Again, Pearre.kathy@gmail.com. Now, something that you might actually be familiar with, the Sunday after that, on the 11th, the Big Sip is happening at the Millennium Center from 1 to 6.
Be exciting.
The Big Sip, Spirits of NC, features spirits, beer, wine, and coffee from local distilleries, breweries, and vendors. Over 100 beverages, plus a chili stew cook-off, basically from local restaurants, all included with your ticket. Brothers Pearl will be playing live there. Plus, there's a silent auction with booths and merchandise as well. Local restaurants and bars, like I said, will be competing for the title of the best craft cocktail. And they will be making cocktails using spirits from North Carolina distilleries and possibly some beer as well, because there are beer cocktails. And there's enough goodness of all of it to have that. This festival will focus on North Carolina distilleries and benefits the NC Distillers Association, or NCDA, and the Winston-Salem JCs. General admission, which is from 2:30 to 6 p.m., is $30 in advance and $40 at the door. Now, the thing you have to know about that is the food's not guaranteed at that time. It's probably going to go quick, which is why they're also selling VIP admission tickets that get you in at 1, and there are a limited amount available for $45. The whole event is capped at 2,000 tickets. Last year, they sold 1,500 tickets, and they sold out in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So, my suggestion...
This is a premier event. This isn't some slouch, kind of thing. This is a big deal.
Yeah. I would recommend going to BigSipFest.com. Get your VIP tickets. Now. Because if you wait... always good things come to those who wait. Sometimes sad faces come to those who wait.
Yes, well, in this case, the early bird's going to get the stew.
That's true. Or the chili. Or whatever else they come up with. Now, I'm sure there'll be plenty of beverages, but even those will start thinning out after a while.
Absolutely.
And the cocktail contest, if you want to see that, you need to get there. And otherwise, you're going to be... SOL, which is sorry, out of luck.
Yes. For the PG version of it, it's sorry, out of luck.
But, I don't care. Shit out of luck. So we're... Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Get out there.
It's interesting. The Distillers Association is doing this so they can have money to do more lobbying with the North Carolina legislature. Distillers do not get an even playing ground.
No, they don't.
The state's really standing in their way of them earning revenue, of expanding their business. You can only buy 4 bottles from the distiller in a year.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's insane.
And that's better than it was 2 years ago. It was only 1 bottle.
I know. So, it's 4 times as good, but all right, let's compare that. How much beer can you buy from a brewery? How much wine can you get from a vineyard? You can buy significantly more So why won't we level that playing field?
Theoretically, you have no cap on beer and wine.
You just have to go somewhere else. You can't buy it from the actual company that's making it.
Right. So, also, on the same token, they can't do live testers at ABC stores. You can't have samples. So, getting people to take that chance on something new on the shelf when they might just like to go in and grab their Jim Beam and go home.
Yeah.
So, without having sampling available,
am I going to spend 30, 40, 50 bucks on a bottle of whiskey if I've never tried it and I don't know I'm going to like it?
No.
You know, that's why I like, as a matter of fact, I was having a conversation with Danielle Bull last week. She was talking about, we do half-price whiskey on Mondays. I'm like, oh, you know what? That's a great idea. There's a great way where I can go find out what I like. But to your point, why can't I do that at the ABC store? It's like, can I just have just a small taste? It's not like I'm trying to get drunk.
Yeah. I mean, chances are if you're at a bar, and I can't speak for them because I'm not a bar owner, if you say, what does that taste like? They might give you just like enough to wet your tongue.
Yeah.
You're not going to even get that at an ABC store where you actually buy the stuff to take home.
Mm-hmm. Part of their mission, the ABC stores are not allowed to encourage people to drink.
Right.
It's in their bylaws.
Yeah, they can't give recommendations. It's if I'm looking for something that's like Crown Royal. Yeah, the Crown Royal's over there. I'm looking for something like Crown Royal. It's over there. Granted, they do put most of the like things next to each other.
Yeah.
They are allowed to tell you where the stuff is. They just can't tell you what they would like to have. Now, I have had some of them when I go out and go, I really like this. That's fine.
Yeah.
But they're not recommending anything. They just like something.
Actually, I did have one guy. I went up with a bottle of Captain Morgan. And he said,
any relation?
Maybe some distant. I'd like to think maybe so. Got a little Captain in me.
Yeah, he finds out when he goes to like step into the shower, he always puts one leg up and just
stands there for just a moment in pose. But yeah, I took a bottle up and he's like, no. Come here. Let me show you. And he's buy this bottle. It's more, but when you look at it in price per ounce, it was actually significantly less because of the sale price.
Yeah.
Granted, it was more than I had intended to spend, but I got a lot more liquor for it. I was like, thank you.
Was it the same
nice.
brand? Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Because they're trying to save you money.
And he did.
And he did.
And he made a bigger sale at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
luckily, they're not paid by commission. So,
yeah.
But yes, so still the NCDA, I know a lot of the distillers around because of my Sipping NC time, and you can see that out on my wall.
Mm-hmm.
And they really need to, they've made a lot of strides. Now we can have alcohol at 10 o'clock on Sundays instead of waiting because of stupid blue laws. And then...
well, then it just opens it up for the restaurants to be able to offer a brunch.
Yeah.
And people have a glass of, a mimosa or something with their brunch.
Yeah.
It's not unreasonable.
No. It's... the archaic liquor laws in this state kill me.
Yeah.
I know in Florida, they have drive-through liquor stores.
Yes.
And they're individually owned.
And happy hours.
Yeah, because we can't be encouraged to drink.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived in Tennessee for a long time. And yeah, same thing. You had drive-through, ABC stores where it's not state-owned, and you might pass half a dozen of them on your way home. And now they're competing with each other on price.
Yeah.
Because they all have the same inventory. It's like, all right, but I'm going to put my Crown's on sale this week. Oh, well, I'm coming to you.
Yeah.
So you had, I think the consumer fares better when it's in the free market. I understand some of the concept of why they had ABC at the time, but we've outgrown it. Archaic is exactly the right word.
Yeah. This is this has been the way it's been since the 30s when they repealed prohibition, and this state will not let loose of any of that. They put it under the guise of, we can't allow people to be drunk like this. Brr, brr, brr. I'm glad Jesse Holmes is gone. But
well, yeah, me too.
We can't have people getting drunk on the Lord's day. Need more pig valves for my heart. But yeah, they've got to get over that crap. I mean, we're one of the few states left with there's ABC's commissions, alcoholic beverage commissions, but
that control everything. Yeah, not many.
And the funny thing is, if you go to the other liquor store, you go to several around town, they don't all have the same inventory.
Yeah,
and they don't all have the same price.
Yeah. How does that work?
Well, let's take the one over here on Northwest Boulevard. You'll find a schload of Hennessy and Cavassier and those cognacs but not some of the other stuff that they have at, say, the Peters Creek Parkway one. And they can charge more over here because people...
It's a market.
It's a market for it. And just... It's so annoying. Bureaucracy at any cost is annoying. I just... and I have... I have no ties with the ABC Commission or the Alcoholic Beverage Commissions, so I can talk all the shit I want to about them.
Yes, you can.
But in the past, whenever bar owners and restaurant owners that have been on shows with me, they're like, because they can't say anything.
Yeah.
I don't care. They can't do anything to me.
Well, they can't take your liquor license away.
That's right. That's right.
But, for a restaurant, you take their liquor license, you just took a huge portion of their revenue away.
Oh, yeah. A huge section, because they can mark that shit up.
Yeah.
It's... You would have... I mean, they could still mark things up, but I think the restaurants actually would do better with looser liquor laws because they could have free market on where they got theirs from.
Yes. Well, people like Nick Williams Distillery in Louisville, the restaurants locally could just be dealing with them direct.
Yep.
But no, they can't even go out there and have the conversation. They have to go to the state. It was one of the things, too, that I had another restaurateur telling me that they want to up their tequila game. But there's only so many tequilas that are available in this ABC district because that district decided not to carry them. Okay, well, now you're really choking the free market.
Yeah.
If I want to get that tequila in a free market, I should be able to go get that tequila.
Right.
Not drive to another part of the state just to be able to have access to it.
Yeah. It should, again, free market should dictate that the... And I understand that it puts more work towards for the distillers, but you know what? That also creates jobs because you have salespeople going out and peddling in a good way different liquors to people. There are reps around here that get you to buy stuff.
Yes,
but they are also limited in what they're allowed to get because in this market, I know there are some things in Forsyth County that you cannot get that you can get in Guilford County. And you can't go over there and get it because you have to order from whatever district you're in.
Yes.
And that's
wrong.
It's baloney.
That's wrong.
Since this is a food podcast, it's baloney. Well, that was a good discussion.
So back to the Big Sip.
Yeah, the Big Sip. Again, go
where we
to
started.
bigsip.fest, bigsipfest.com and order your tickets. You will not have a good time. You will.
It's going to be a great one. Yeah. Last year, like you said it, the last one sold out in 45 minutes.
Yeah, 1,500 tickets.
Boom.
Yeah, and they've increased the footprint. It's now 2 floors of the Millennium Center, not just one, to accommodate all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I know they really wanted to try to do a grilled cheese cook-off, but coming up with enough flat top grills in there so that it could be served hot. Just the logistics of that went south.
Yeah.
So chili and stew, yes, that's easy enough to get there and keep it hot at the Millennium Center. But you're right. The restaurants are not making 500 gallons of chili.
No.
So yeah, if you want the best chilies and stews, get there early.
Indeed. Let's go over some food holidays and history for this week.
All right,
the
let's talk about
29th of October is Oatmeal Day.
Oatmeal Day.
Yes, today. So if you've not had your oatmeal, go home and have some oatmeal.
If I'm going to have oatmeal, it needs to be in a cookie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't eat it anymore as
How
cereal.
about an oatmeal stout?
Oh, yes.
You can do that.
Yes.
Especially some like Samuel Smith's out of England. They do
I've
good
not
stuff.
had that.
Oh, it's the first one I ever had. It's
Okay.
really good. You can find it at bottle shops.
Okay.
Um,
That'll be my favorite way to have oatmeal then.
Yeah. I was more of a cream of wheat kind of guy growing up, to be honest with you. The 30th of October is National Candy Corn Day. I guess makes sense considering what the next day is. And on the 30th in 1964, buffalo wings were created by Teresa Bellissimo at the Anchor Bar in Buffalo, New York, for her son and some of his friends as a midnight snack.
I have been to that place. I have been to the Anchor Bar. It's really cool.
Are the wings that good?
No.
No.
They're all right.
I think that it's just the novelty of it being there.
Yeah.
It's like the Union Oyster House in Boston, the oldest continuously running restaurant in the country. I had oyster stew in other places that were better.
Yeah.
I had oysters that were better, but you ate there, and it was a museum and a restaurant all in the same thing.
Yeah.
On the 31st, obviously, is Halloween or All Hallows Eve. It's also National Caramel Apple Day. On
Makes sense.
the 31st in 1905, Joseph H. Campbell Company registered Campbell's trademark for baked beans, first used in 1898. And we also know that they have soup.
Wow.
On the 31st in 1920, Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes handed down the decision of the Supreme Court, which upheld trademark violations for the Coca-Cola Company against the Coke Company of America, spelled K-O-K-E. On the 1st of November, it's All Hallows Day or All Saints Day. It's also National Deep Fried Clam Day, World Vegan Day, which I will never understand, and National Vinegar Day, which I like vinegar. But I don't know that
There's a place for it.
Yeah, I like it in things. I like it on my salads. I like it, again, cooked
You know
stuff.
what that proves? That any group with enough lobbying money behind it can get a day.
That's true. The only thing you got to do is say that it's there.
Yeah.
And all these holidays are the either industry or companies that put this together.
Yeah.
On the 1st of November in 1997, Victor Mills died. He was a chemical engineer who worked for Procter & Gamble. Among his many accomplishments, he improved Duncan Hines cake mix and Jif peanut butter. And he also invented Pampers disposable diapers.
Interesting.
On the
I like
second,
Jif. That's my peanut butter.
I'm a Peter Pan kind of guy.
I like Peter Pan too.
My mother cannot understand my fascination with Peter Pan because I grew up as a Jif kid. But, because, choosy mothers choose
Jif. Yeah.
But she was not that choosy. I think it was cheaper. So that's what we got.
Creamy or crunchy?
I'm a creamy guy. I don't like crunchy in my creamy stuff. That's why, I don't like necessarily croutons in my salad and stuff. I don't like that surprise.
Yeah, I like the crunch.
If I'm just eating it, that's one thing. But on my sandwiches and stuff, no.
Crunchy, and take it one step further. Take a little, grape nuts. Sprinkle that on there. Then you really get a crunch.
Okay, I'm reassessing your involvement on this show. No, I like the diversity.
There you go.
You don't have to agree with it. On the 2nd of November is National Deviled Egg Day. And I love deviled eggs. I make a mean breakfast deviled egg.
Really? What's different about it?
I fry bacon.
Okay.
Take the grease, put it in the eggs.
Yeah.
Mayo, 2 different kinds of mustard, orange juice, maple syrup, all in the egg mixture, and then top it off with the crunched up bacon. And also take some Parmesan cheese and put a pile of it on one of those. What's the word I'm looking for?
The thing that looks like that, and it
yeah,
does this stuff.
It was a flat thing. It's silicone.
Silicone. Okay.
And put it in the oven at 375 for about 10 minutes until it gets all melted into one thing. Then bring it off, crunch it up, take pieces of it, and stick it on top of it. Yeah, it's my breakfast. My breakfast deviled egg.
That really sounds good.
It's even good. Chef Travis at Willow's has made my recipe because he liked the way it sounded. Yeah, I love making those, and they're always a hit. There's never any left.
I would imagine not.
It's also National Men Make Dinner Day on the 2nd, so
that wouldn't necessarily be all that different from most days.
For you?
For us.
Yeah, for us, yeah. In 2010, San Francisco passed a law that allows toys to be given away with kids' restaurant meals only if the meal contains less than 600 calories.
Really?
Yeah. Because, the McDonald's stopped doing that and everything, but because a lot of places were banning it. But San Francisco said it's okay if you can get that meal to under 600 calories.
Then you can offer a prize.
Yeah. I don't know how that works. I don't know how it worked. I don't know if they're doing it or not.
I loved the prizes. I remember as a kid, we would go to Burger Chef. That was the place where we used
Burger Chef.
And they had the little plastic trees, and you could take them apart and make your little toys out of them. And loved those. Yes. Loved them.
The 3rd of November. It's turn your clock back before going to bed on Saturday, that's Saturday night, because daylight saving time stops at 2 a.m. on Sunday.
Yes.
It's also Sandwich Day, and it's fitting because on that day in 1718, John Montagu, the 4th Earl of Sandwich, was born. Some sources say it was November 13th, but I'm going with this day. Captain Cook named the Sandwich Islands after him, and the Sandwich Islands are now known as Hawaii.
Really?
Yes.
I did not realize
the
that.
The Earl is supposed to have invented the sandwich as a quick meal so as not to interrupt his gambling sessions. On the 3rd of November.
Works for that.
Yes. On the 3rd of November in 1952, frozen peas were added to the list of frozen vegetables produced by Birdseye. In 1956, Cesar Cardini died. He was the chef and restaurateur in the United States and Mexico, and he is credited with creating the Caesar salad in his restaurant in Tijuana, Mexico in the 1920s. And on the 3rd in 1966, ingredients are required to be listed on food packages. It was the first truth in packaging law.
I think it took until 96. You would think it would have happened long before that.
Yeah. On the 4th of November, Learn to Homebrew Day. Yes.
Have you done that?
I have not.
I have not done that.
I don't have the patience. I think that's my problem.
I'm happy to drink homebrew.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't brew it.
It's also National Bison Day and National Candy Day, which you would think would have been 4 days sooner.
Yes, on the last day of October.
Yes. On the 4th of November in 1873, Anthony Iskay was issued a patent for a meat slicing machine. It worked much like a guillotine or a mandoline with a frame to hold the meat while sliding against a blade, which is basically what they still use today.
Yeah.
It's just electric.
And it spins.
And it spins really, really fast. Do not get your fingers close to
anywhere
it.
near.
On the 4th in 1879, James and John Ritty invented the first cash register. They came up with the idea to prevent bartenders from stealing at the Pony House restaurant in Dayton, Ohio. On the exact same day, African-American inventor Thomas Elkins received a patent for a refrigerating machine which could be used to cool food or even human corpses, according to the patent application.
Wow. Well, he was thinking ahead.
That's true.
What are my future markets?
Yes.
Where am I going to sell this thing?
Yes, a refrigerating machine is a refrigerating machine is a refrigerating machine.
And all the county morgues are going to need one.
That's true.
And all the funeral homes are going to need one.
That's true. So that's your food holidays and history for this week. Special thanks to James Ealer, who jams at foodreference.com for compiling this holidays and history session.
Thank you, Jammin' James.
Jammin' James. The Man Who Ate the Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to The Less Desirables, The Beer Dads, Fan Interference, and Apartment 5B, Irrational Conversations with the Cool Breezes of Anytown, USA. You can find all these podcasts on their latest episodes on our network website and directory, which is tldpodnetwork.com. If you have the Amazon Echo or Echo Dot and you're not afraid that she's listening to all your conversations. And,
she is.
And she probably is.
I'm transcribing it.
You can enable the AnyPod skill and ask Alexa to have AnyPod play the Man Who Ate the Town podcast.
Nice.
We'd greatly appreciate if you visited our sponsors. That would be Lisio's Italian Restaurant, like we said earlier, who will be closed until Thursday, but go Thursday and see what the big reveal is. They're located at 301 Brookstown Avenue. Italian food like you're sitting in Naples, more than just spaghetti and lasagna, but we guarantee it'll be better than anyone else's spaghetti and lasagna. Rich cream sauces, bright and flavorful red sauces, wine sauces, vodka sauces, all sauces. It's seafood, meat, vegetarian, all right there. Many styles of pasta to choose from, and there are daily specials. They're open right now from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday. Check them out on Instagram and on Facebook. Washington Perk and Provision Company is located at 301 West 4th Street. The Perk just announced they are now carrying Lundberg rice cakes. Woo!
Why would I need rice cakes?
I don't know, but obviously it's a big deal because they had a big social media posting about it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Rice cakes.
Rice cakes.
Woo,
Lundberg.
let's hear it for rice cakes. Lundberg.
Lundberg. Not to be Lundberg like on Office Space,
Right.
Yeah. They also have Wolfie's Custard. They actually own Wolfie's Custard, so they have that in many, many flavors to choose from.
I'm more interested in the custard.
Yeah, me too.
Lots more interested.
Yeah. Maybe you can have custard on a rice cake.
Maybe.
That's the only way I'd really want to eat rice cake. They also have Larry's Beans Coffee, which is one of the few places around town that have that. Eggs, milk and cheese, condiments, bread, wine, beer. Perk has them all. Washington Perk, better than a convenience store, not quite a grocery store. Again, they're located at 301 West 4th Street in downtown Winston-Salem. On Facebook, they are Washington Perk. And on Instagram, they are Washington Perk _WTWS. DTWS. Yeah, there we go.
WT. I was going to what's WT? Now, DTWS.
DTWS.
Downtown Winston-Salem.
Lastly, but certainly not leastly, the Humblebee Shop is located at 1003 Brookstown Avenue in the west end of downtown. Brittany is awesome.
We love Brittany. We love Brittany.
And we do. And who wouldn't?
You can't help it. As soon as you meet her, you're going to fall in love with her. She's just that kind of person.
She is. She's beautiful on the inside and on the outside.
And then you taste her food.
Yeah.
Oh.
Magic.
Yes. Then you're really in love.
1003 Brookstown Avenue in the west end of downtown. Visit for cookies, cakes, pies, and other desserts made just for you. Everything is carefully crafted and made 100% from scratch. The Humblebee Shop wants to challenge your perception of scratch made and leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. And why would you want to?
You want to repeat it.
Indeed. You probably go back for seconds or sevenths. You just keep going back. For more information, follow them on Facebook and visit thehumblebeshop.co, and that's SHOPPE.co. So, Ray, how was your first time?
It was great.
There was a lot of good conversation. I liked that.
Thank you. It was fun.
Some back and forth. It was good.
Well, that was kind of what we were hoping to do.
Absolutely, because listening to me just read stuff is boring.
Oh, it's fascinating. Fascinating.
I guess if you're watching paint dry, it would be fascinating in comparison. Or, watching grass grow. That's also a pastime that I'm glad I don't do anymore. But
actually, we did that recently.
Did you?
We have 2 cats.
Okay.
So we bought the little stuff at Walmart that makes cat grass specific. Apparently, it's something that helps their digestion.
Yes.
So you put a little water in there with the dirt, and you leave it in the window and let it grow, and you could just about watch it grow. Within 24 hours, it was 4 inches tall.
Wow.
It was like, what? It's just amazing to watch this thing sprout up.
Something fun. Two things fun. One,
Fun.
not fun for the cat, but if it ever goes by, you know, its tail's always up there and you see its butthole, blow on it.
Doesn't like that.
No, it doesn't necessarily care
Does it
for
jump?
that. It does.
Cool.
And it will look at you funny. So it's always kind of fun for you to do that. The other thing is if you have any mint laying around, I don't know if you know this, but mint is in the catnip family.
Okay.
Or the catnip's in the mint family.
Yeah.
Stephanie actually had a cat one time. They couldn't find it, but they had a bunch of mint growing in the back. And they went back there, and the cat was just like rolling around. And they picked it up, and it was limp, going meow, meow. And she said it was the funniest thing ever. It was just high as all get out because it was rolling around in the mint.
Oh, that's fun.
So it's just something to try on, you know, rainy days when you have nothing else going on.
We do try the catnip, and they enjoy the catnip. They get hyper, start running all over the place, and then crash.
Did I tell you about the talking kitty? Talking kitty cat on YouTube? It's a whole series. You've got to watch it. Start as far back as you can go. There's like 60 episodes now.
Wow.
And it's over many years. So there's really nothing I can explain other than just it is a talking cat. Several talking cats and a dog.
Is it Toonses?
No.
No, not Toonses.
No, this is Sylvester, which is kind of obvious for a cat to have a Sylvester.
Bit, yeah.
But seriously, the whole series is funny as hell.
Kind of derivative.
Yeah. So keep an eye on the blog and this podcast to find out more about the food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, send us an email, tim@themanwhoatetown.com. Like us on Facebook, on Twitter. We are a Man Who Ate the Town. On Instagram, we are a Man Who Ate the Town. That's on Twitter, it's Man Who Ate the Town. There you go. My name is Tim.
My name is Ray.
And we're closing the recipe box. Until next time, thank you for reading, and thank you for listening. Bon appetit. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the Man Who Ate the Town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.